Agreed to. I call the honourable member for Bendigo.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. This week in this parliament and in this House, there has been a lot of debate, both in party rooms and on the floor, about marriage equality. And all of us have been engaged on that issue. It's also been an issue that people in our communities have been engaging and debating, whether it be through social media, whether it be through talkback radio. I myself in my office have received a number of emails from people calling on this parliament to act, to say it's time. One of the emails that I received is from Josh, and I asked Josh if I could read his email out to the parliament so that they could understand how personal this issue is and how important this issue is to people in my electorate and in other electorates around the country. And Josh agreed. He believed it would be important for his friends that he knew that these thoughts were placed on the record. Dear Miss Chesters, yesterday a dear friend of mine died. In the midst of my sadness at the loss of her life, I am also angry and frustrated that she will never have the chance to do something that I had the chance to do, marry the person she loved. I do not know your personal opinions on the issue, but I thank you for taking a public standing up for the wishes of the people you serve. Marriage is a social construct, and society is saying its definition needs to change and be more inclusive. Thank you for your continuing representation of me and the people of Central Victoria. Josh sent me some other words that he'd also like to be placed on the record. My friend was in her early 30s, and she got engaged to her partner last year. I think that if the Australian government is going to recognise marriage, it should be for all citizens. It's not about changing marriage in the eyes of God. At my wedding, it was done about love between me and my wife. My marriage certificate is not an issue of having a fertility examination. This is about allowing people, my friends, my family, to partake in something that is a universal right. I think if you have the change scenario, I think if you change the scenario from two men to two people of different religion or ethnicity and background, the objections would be considered absurd. As I said, I thank you for doing your job of representing your electorate, and I'll be honoured if you share my thoughts in Canberra. Best wishes, Josh. Josh's emails are just two of the many that I've received. Personal reflections of stories about how people in my electorate and my community believe it's time. Time for this parliament to get on with the job of correcting this issue and allowing marriage equality. It's an issue of equity before the law. Now, the government and government ministers are trying to talk about expensive referendums and plebiscites where we don't know if they'll have any binding effect on this parliament, because my understanding of the rules, they won't, to try and delay and stall what is a very simple issue that this parliament could deal with right now. We have two private members' bills on the books. It's time. It's time for Australia and it's time for this parliament to get on with marriage equality. Marriage equality is an act, the Marriage Act is an act of this parliament, and it is up to all of us as parliamentarians to consider the bills before and allow the vote to occur. I call on the Prime Minister to respect the wishes of Josh, to respect the wishes of so many in our community and allow a vote to occur. Deputy Speaker, a few weeks ago, 85 small businesses took out 2 full-page ads in my local paper. Small businesses calling for marriage equality, putting on the record their support for marriage equality. This isn't just a niche issue or an inner-city issue. This is an issue that unites Australians around our country saying, let's end the discrimination. Let's end the discrimination before the law. Let's make sure that all people can marry for love, not gender, but for love. Two consenting adults having the opportunity and the choice. Deputy Speaker, it's time, and it's time that the Prime Minister got out of the way and allowed there to be a vote of this parliament and in the next coming weeks.
Thank you, Member for Bendigo. The question is that the motion be agreed to. All those of that opinion, please say aye. To the contrary, I think the ayes have it. The Federation therefore stands adjourned until 10:30 a.m. on Monday, the 17th of August 2015.